What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can check out new episodes of the Drop Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast and on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
This episode is presented by All County Exteriors. Discover the excellence of All County Exteriors, a third-generation leader in premier exterior home remodeling, proudly celebrating over 40 years of success. While most remodeling companies last just 5 years, All County Exteriors has withstood the test of time, consistently delivering top-quality roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Their expertise extends from small repairs to large additions, serving homeowners and builders alike. More than just a construction company, All County Exteriors is deeply committed to community service, proudly supporting organizations such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the American Cancer Society, Roofs for Troops, and Parents of Autistic Children. If you have planned to do any exterior remodeling, call the experts at All County Exteriors for a free, no-obligation estimate for your project. Just call 732-370-2780 or email them at info@allcountyonline.com. That's 732-370-2780 for All County Exteriors for all your remodeling needs. This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? How you doing this week? Welcome back to episode 98. We are coming up on quite a milestone there, Mike, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. Episode 98 coming at you. This is Tuesday, August 20th. Quick weekly schedule for you. Yesterday, Monday the 19th, Mike played the famous first hole at Tobacco Road. As we remember, Mike went on quite a golf trip, and he's still pumping out videos from his trip down to Pinehurst and playing all those rounds he played in the Carolinas. So that famous par 5 at Tobacco Road was Mike's hole yesterday. Make sure you check it out. If you didn't go over to the Instagram, go check out what turns out. I don't want to give anything away, Mike, but go over to Instagram, go check it out. Today, episode 98, Tuesday the 20th. You can also check us out on YouTube. The Drop Golf Podcast is our YouTube channel page. Head over there, subscribe, watch the video version. You can catch what Mike and I are doing on an episode here. Wednesday, tomorrow, the 21st. I got to play the Rose again, Old Bridge Golf Club. I'm going to talk a little bit about it in just a few minutes, but it's something we've talked about as well. I played the par 3 15th hole. Stay tuned for the results there.
Hole in one.
Thursday, the director of marketing from Tobacco Road. It's a Tobacco Road Day week this week, Mike. Darren Bunch we had on. It was really cool to talk to him. I know my audio wasn't great because I was traveling, but it was cool to see his job and honestly crazy that he does the marketing and all that he does for Tobacco Road, which is in North Carolina. He does it from California. So that was pretty cool to see. So an interesting interview and really cool. And obviously, nice that he was able to help set up the stuff for you and your trip. And it was nice to, kind of put a face to a name there and all that kind of stuff. So that is our Thursday interview. August 22nd is Darren Bunch from Tobacco Road. And then Friday the 23rd is Freaky Fun Friday. So that's what we got this week. You ready to jump into some topics there, Mikey?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to take a deep breath after all that.
Yeah. Mike, last week I had talked about Matt Kuchar at the Wyndham Championship, and I said, I wonder what Mike would think about Matt Kuchar's situation there. Now, also, I know that more has come out since I recorded that, and since we've kind of heard some more things. But can you walk us through what your thoughts were as it was happening?
Listen, first off, I was glued to my glued to my phone last Sunday watching Max. I was texting with people the whole nine, like rooting so hard. He holes out for eagle. Then he makes an 8, and then he makes a birdie. Then he 4 putts. It was like the roller coaster of roller coaster. And I don't want to backtrack because I listened to what you said and you touched on it very well. But the Matt Kuchar thing, bro, let me tell you what. I don't know, for what this guy seems to be, the nice guy with a smile on his face all the time and people love him. There are 2 things that stand out a lot for me with the Matt Kuchar thing. One, what an awful, awful thing to do. You're making all these volunteers, all these workers, all the golf course maintenance people that legitimately did everything in their humanly possible minds to get that golf course in good enough shape to not only have people, I don't know if you know, not only have people finish the second round, but play the third round and finish the fourth round all on Sunday. Oh, and Matt Kuchar's going to make them come back for 3 shots on Monday. Are you out of your effing mind? Come on. Awful.
It really,
awful.
It really was. After I recorded that last week, I thought about that, like the people that he made, the volunteers, because afterwards I saw video of it come out, and you see him, whoever posted it, but you see him punch out of the woods, chip onto the green, make his putt, and you see who's there. There's nobody watching him, but there's volunteers there that are like gauging the whatever they got to do. But it was crazy that like they had to ask, I don't know, 10 people to come in for one guy. It was wild to see that's what had to happen.
Yeah, so I thought that move was like the absolute middle finger to so many people. But then my other take on the thing was like, can you imagine living in the headspace like Matt Kuchar? Like, I just don't care what anybody thinks. Like, I don't care that everybody in the whole internet world hates me. Like, I'm just going to go about my day smiling and waving at people. Everybody's going to be yelling, Cooch. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy doesn't care what anybody thinks. He's not on the internet. He doesn't have a Twitter account. He's not on Instagram. Like, it came out that his agent called him and said, hey, you might want to stay off it. You're not getting, a lot of love right now on the internet. He's like, no big deal. I'm not on it anyway. So for that to go, all this to transpire, and this guy to be so in his own world, and frankly, just not be bothered one little bit. Listen, I wish I could live in that space because, man, someone says, Mike, your beard starts looking gray. I'm thinking like, God, I got a lot of work to do now.
Yeah, that was wild. And again, like, was he trying to be the nice guy to let the guy who's going to potentially win, like, make sure he finishes the tournament so he doesn't have to come back on Monday, which is kind of what I talked about? Or was he just like, let me see if I can hit this drive? And I don't know. The whole thing was so strange. So strange.
Just mind-boggling. But listen, sign me up to live in that headspace of not letting anything bother you. And then also sign me up. I mean, like, that's just an awful thing to do to people. I don't know. Listen, Matt Kuchar. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
I wonder how much the video footage, like on the TV, I wonder if it was significantly darker than it makes it look.
It is. But those guys, like Max finished. Max finished. Max is the only one you should be caring about. And if Kuchar's smart enough, he asks Max, do you want to finish? If Max says yes, then there's no reason Kuchar should be picking up his damn ball. Max should be the one making the call there.
Don't disagree. I don't disagree there. I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was the strangest thing I've seen in a long time in the golf world. So,
yeah, mind-boggling.
Mike, I think I owe some people an apology.
Yeah, you do. You do. And I know exactly where you're going with this because I was the one dealing with the DMs. And listen, let me start with this because last week we talked about golf trips and golf resorts and kind of spots you and I dream about going, bucket list type spots. Mm-hmm. And you had said on the episode that you've never been. And I kind of took that for, like, all right, yeah, I've gone on quite a few, so on and so forth, been here, been there. Mm-hmm. And I got a DM from a listener says, Mike, I just want to bring up Ryan last year went to Ireland with a bunch of friends and played golf for 7 to 10 days. Does he not remember that, or what does he call that? And I'm like, holy hell, great point. I cannot wait to call him out on this one. So I think, to people that listen, you have some explaining to do.
Yeah, so I drank a lot of Irish whiskey on that trip, so that could be part of the reason why. No, honestly, I 100% consider that a golf trip. I absolutely loved my time in Ireland. I talked so much about it. I mean, my club covers are from my Ireland trip. Like I not my iron covers. I don't have iron covers.
Yeah.
Like my 3-wood, my 3-wood, my 5-wood. They're from my Ireland trip, and I loved it there, and I cannot believe that I brain farted on that. I owe a lot of people an apology. The guys on the trip, it was a trip of a lifetime, really, and I think what I was trying to think about, or why I was like blinded by it, was I was thinking about like honestly, that trip was so big and so grand. I think that's what it was. It was like there was 12 of us. We had a bus. We were staying at all these places, traveling around. Like, I think what I was thinking, and why I wasn't thinking out like about this trip, was I was thinking like going to a place and playing those golf courses, like going to Pinehurst and playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going to Stream Song and playing all those places, going to Bandon and playing those courses. Like, that's the only thing I can think of, is like, I've never done that. This was like a golf trip around Ireland. Like this was even bigger than what I was thinking. And it's in Ireland. It's not even like so I don't really know. That's the only thing I can come up with, is that I was thinking smaller than what that trip was. But yeah, thanks for calling me out, because I have been on a golf trip. Ireland
A
last
big one.
year. A
big one. I mean, we're not taking a car like I did and driving to a spot. Like, you're legitimately getting on an airplane, flying to a different country, touring the country, drinking, playing
customs.
golf. Like, yeah, like that's like a kid coming in with his homework and saying, like, my dog ate it. We're all going to look at you like, yeah, yep, BS, BS. So I'm glad the listener called you out.
No,
I'm so happy about
too,
that.
because I really, I mean, there are, the people from the trip listen to this podcast, and I'm sorry, I did not. I was just envisioning more of like a stay and play kind of thing, and not. That's kind of more what I was envisioning, and I just, I legitimately feel bad, because it was an incredible trip. That's the only thing I can think of, is that that was too grand for what I was envisioning. So that's really it. So again, whoever that listener was, thanks for calling me out. I did deserve that. I did.
Are you looking for the perfect place to tee it up this season? Or just looking for a great spot for casual comfort food? Or how about the most picturesque backdrop for the wedding of your dreams? Then you need to go visit Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey, conveniently located in Union County, right off exit 138 on the Garden State Parkway. Galloping Hill encompasses over more than 270 beautiful acres. It was again ranked in the top 10 of best public golf courses in New Jersey. Galloping Hill also offers a top 50 in the country learning center with 52 stalls and a 45,000 square foot practice area. In addition to a 9-hole course that is ranked in the top 10 of short courses in the entire country, Galloping Hill is more than just golf. The Hill Tavern Bar and Grill is a gastro pub with seasonal food and beer options updated regularly with amazing views of the course. Hosting over 100 golf outings and over 400 social events per year, their catering team consistently wins awards each year from the Knot and the Wedding Wire. Schedule a tour for your special event at the clubhouse at gallopinghill.com. It's all happening this year at Galloping Hill Golf Course.
Mike, as I mentioned at the top here, my Ryan's verse this week is at the Rose again. Old Bridge Golf Club, the new course we've talked about many times. I got to play there a second time, and I just wanted to kind of point out and just kind of touch upon, like, the course is still growing. it's incredible the difference. Like when I was there the first time, I was talking with Ryan, who's the GM there, and he was like, "Look, I was off yesterday. I'm here today. Those bushes weren't there. Like those flowers. There's like a big right by the putting green. There's like a big flagpole, and he's like, those flowers, they weren't there when I was here last. So like every day they're doing something new. They're doing something different. They're continuing to grow the course. And I just wanted to kind of point out that like when was I there? A couple like 2 months ago, beginning of May, maybe sometime is when we got to play it. I think we played it just a little bit apart, but it was rather bare bones. I can't believe that in just a few months, all the stuff that they've continued to accomplish, from like putting in more trees, cutting down more trees, adding more like more cart path kind of area. Like it's continued to grow. It is a work in progress. And some of the people I've talked to about it, they didn't like that part of it. They're like, oh, it's too much of this, or it's not enough of that, or whatever. And I was like, it's legitimately, it has 3 to 5 more years before they're almost done. Right? They have a golf course that they can put out now. It's well worth it. It really is. I would say go in with the mindset of like this is a living, breathing thing right now. Is that it's continuing to grow. It is really good. I had an awesome time. You'll see. I played the 15th hole. It was really cool to go play it. I played with some really good company. I really had got out there with a couple buddies, so I don't get to play golf with very often. It was very, very fun and just cool to see the continued growth. Even just I'd say a few months, and I don't even know if it's that far. You know, it's 2, maybe 3 months apart. So if you haven't gotten to play it, go play it. Very cool, very awesome. Old Bridge Golf Club, the Rose, get there.
One caveat.
What's the caveat?
They got to go on a nice day if they can't carry their own bag.
True.
Because the one feedback I've gotten from people on top of what you're saying is they love the golf course, but they played a day after it rained, or potential rain may come in, and then they do have to protect the golf course.
For sure. Yeah.
So they go no carts at all, and you have to carry your own bag. And some people, don't have that ability to carry it, or don't even have a pull cart to use that either. So keep that in mind. Yeah, just keep that in mind, that is the one thing right now with the young golf course, you got to kind of protect it. So if you're not playing it on a beautiful day, you may be forced into carrying it or taking a pull cart.
Yep. And again, that kind of goes to the point of like it's living and breathing. Like they're more concerned about the grass right now and making sure that it grows and fully comes in, because it's still growing and it's still getting its root system, and it's still like all of that is still delicate for sure it is. So yeah, an absolute must there. We had the USGA AM was this past week, Mike. We had a bunch of guys in it. I think there was 6 of them that we had. A couple Jersey guys, couple friends of the show. Unfortunately, only one person made it to match play. Only one person made the cut, finished in the top 64, and that was David Ford out of UNC. Finished in the top 64, and out of how many? 200 something golfers.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I think there was even more than that.
It was a lot of golf. Right, more than 200. I think it was like 256.
Yeah, there's a lot of people playing.
It was really crazy. So to finish top 64 is super difficult to begin with, but and as I said, I don't know how many of them have. Everybody has aspirations of making match play, but maybe some of them were just where to get to, like a different point or a different spot. We'd have to ask them individually. But again, David moves on, gets to his first round of match play, and ends up getting bounced on the 18th hole. So it's not like any of our guys went super far anyway. So, but honestly, again, making it's a huge accomplishment. Getting close to the cut line, even bigger accomplishment. Making the cut, huge accomplishment. So I just those guys should be really proud of themselves. I know that they're probably not, because I know that again, the guys that we talk to, they're dogs. They want to win everything that they do. And I hope that doesn't get lost in, like, again, someone like Reed getting there as a gonna be freshman in college. That's a huge, huge deal. Never played college competition before and is winning in our state level, making it to national, a national tournament. I think that's such a huge accomplishment. I don't want that to get lost in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think it's stepping stones for a lot of these guys. And to your point, some of these guys are at the next level and they want to take it to match play. And some of them are just, happy to be there in a sense. But, they're competitors by nature. And I think, I'm sure none of them were happy that they missed match play, because you and I have said this so many times. If you can make it to match play, anything can happen. And I think David Ford was the perfect example. Like I think he was like a top 10 seed.
I think he was 4.
Yeah, he was up there. So whatever he was, he loses first round on the 18th hole. Like, so numbers really don't matter in things like that when it comes to golf. But listen, they got their toes wet, some of them, for the second time, and hopefully, they get another chance next summer.
Absolutely. So good luck to the rest of those guys. I mean, we talked to Reed. It's, middle of August. He said his college season's coming up soon. We talked to Colin whenever it was, and we did a little college kind of recap. He's got to be getting ready for his college season. So, some of these guys are starting to gear up now that it's middle of August and kids are starting to go back, and the season's right around the corner for them. So good luck to those guys. And then someone like Stu, who he's got, other stuff coming up on his schedule that's more national. So good luck to those guys. Let's move from the amateur ranks to the pro ranks. Mike, we got some stuff that we got to chat about. Corn Ferry Tour. Unfortunately, no Jersey guys made the cut. But I was out on property on Thursday. I was taking some pictures, posting some things. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like you where I'm on my phone all the time. So it was legitimately like work out there to think like, okay, I got to take a picture of this guy. I haven't taken a picture of this guy yet. Let me put this out there. Let me do this. So it was kind of crazy. I know that like John Pack was a guy that like, I don't think I posted something on for him, but I followed him a whole bunch. So like it was just kind of as I was recapping in my own mind, I felt bad that I didn't get to post something about him, but like it was cool to see like he had such a following out there. It was really a fun day out there, and I mean this not even from like I know that we fall under like the quote unquote media now. It's a fun event. It's so cool to see. It's right in our backyard. If you're in Jersey, no reason not to go. These guys are playing phenomenal golf. You're walking a property that is tops in the state. It's such a cool thing to go that if you're just, I mean, you got young kids, let them go wander the golf course. Go see. You can nearly stand on the tee box with them. You have so much better access than you would at a PGA Tour event. It's incredible. It's really, really cool to see. And I just, it was a special time. It was really cool to kind of walk around and see all that. Really,
Yeah.
really
I mean, listen, I was living vicariously through you, and I think you get to see how hard it is at times trying to juggle the phone, the pictures, the stories, the instant, like it's nonstop. But to your point, it is like you're working out there when you're trying to just enjoy a round of golf here in New Jersey.
Beautiful day. There was one hole, like it was a par 5. I was walking with John, just like strolling down the cart path. And then all of a sudden I went, oh wait, I got to post that picture for the previous hole, and like had to stop, do the thing, and I look up, and he's now walking onto the green. Oh shoot, I got to catch up, and like it was just it was. I don't want to make it seem like it's the toughest thing in the world, but like if you're not consciously thinking about it, it can be tough.
Yeah, and I can't lie. The feedback that people gave me through Instagram from what you were doing was so good. Like everybody seeing us out there and being visual was a huge thing. And I was texting with Morgan throughout the week. I know he did not make the cut, and we talked before his round on Thursday. We talked before he teed off on Friday because he had a late start on Friday. It was just unfortunate for him to bogey that 36 hole to miss the cut by one shot. Because the season's winding down for guys like him, and every cut matters. So listen, it sounds like that place did another A+ job. And I appreciate you going out there.
Yeah, I mean, I would go out there every year that they would have it, but I'm under the impression that this is the last year they're having it there. And even just the feedback for I get to see Chris the caddy, who we got hooked up with last year. Chris was saying there's not a better spot that they go to. There's a few spots that are just as nice, or that they treat them just as well, but nothing. This is the tops for them. And from stem to stern, from the hospitality that they get there to the food and beverage that's there to the golf course itself, this is the epitome of the golf on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Is that breaking that they're not doing it there next year? Because I have not heard that. And when I know you mentioned to me that in the pre-show, I haven't heard they weren't coming back. Is that definitive?
I don't know if I was told that in confidence or not, but I was told that they're definitely not coming back next year.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
Something to do they don't have a new contract for it there next year. So yeah, I don't know. It would be sad because it's such a marvelous event. It really is. I can't say enough good things. I don't know if there's a bad thing to say about it, other than it's an undulating golf course and it's kind of a tough walk. But other than that, it's magnificent. It really is the only way to describe it. Stem to stern, everything is top notch there. Yeah, I don't. It was really, really cool, really cool. And the access that you get, you go to a pro tour, they finish their putt and they walk off the green, and you don't see them ever again. They go into a tunnel or whatever. This, they walk off the green and they just walk around the property. They got to go sign their scorecard. They go have lunch, which is right in front of it. They're just walking in and out. It was just really, really cool. And one of the things I actually took away, Mike, was they putt first. They work on their putting first. Then they go to the driving range. And then the last thing they do is hit drives that they're going to hit on the first tee, which was really pretty neat to me. I never thought of that, because I always hit the range, then hit the putting green, and then go. And they're going the opposite way. It was just...
Well, that's different. Why they're professionals and we're a bunch of scrubs.
For sure. But it was just something that, as I was watching, I was like, oh, you don't tee off for another hour and a half. Why are you over on the putting green already? And then, well, I figured out why. That was a big takeaway for me. That was interesting. So yeah, it was really, really cool. So here's what happens. Oh, and I wanted to say this, Mike. We know golf is hard, and I know Morgan missed the cut on the 18th hole on Friday. There were so many times that he was centimeters away from dropping another putt or missing something, hitting it it just trickles in and catches one of those that's it's against the rough on it's going to affect the shot a little bit. There's just so many things throughout that's it's just he's so close to being spot on and blowing up that I think we've kind of talked about it. You don't really know the score. You see kind of where he is. He's 147th on the Korn Ferry list. I think he's literally right there. I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all if he explodes, because the first hole missed a birdie putt by another ball rotation. Second hole missed a birdie putt by just burnt the edge, it hit the edge and changed its trajectory. He's so close. that I it wouldn't shock me, but it shows how close all these guys are. Like a couple centimeters here or there makes a world of difference. Again, 10 centimeters total, he's probably 6 or 7 under.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
which makes this week coming up huge for him.
Yeah. Because, as I said, he's 147th. And we've talked about the PGA Tour and how they're the top 70, the top 50, the top 30 kind of in their playoffs. The Korn Ferry does it very similarly. Top 156 make it. That's who's in right now.
Yeah, that's for this week's Boise Albertson Open. They have 4 events. The PGA Tour is 3, so these guys go 4. And similar to your point, there's criteria for each of them. And Morgan's in this week, but he's got to play well now or he's done.
Right. Because it goes 156. The next week is 144. The next week is 120. The final week is 75. So you got to get on a heater, especially if he's currently at 147. You know, he's guaranteed this week as of right now, but he's not guaranteed next week. And if he gets into that, even if he does play well, he gets into that 144. Now you're talking about, like, you need to play really, really well to keep jumping up, because if you squeak in, plays well enough to get to 143. The difference between 143 and 119, big difference. The difference between 119 and 74, even bigger difference. So you're talking about going on an absolute heater that, again, it's possible. He's right there. But it's at some point you think like some guys are going to get squeezed out there because they just played pretty good golf and not excellent golf. So,
well, to your point, you described him as being close. And if he's that close, man, what a better time. There isn't a better time, I should say, than to get on this heater than right now, because nobody wants their season to end and then have to deal with the ramifications of Q school, what's my card looking like next year, so on and so forth. So, listen, I hope he gets it done this week in Boise. I do.
Absolutely, for sure. I'm rooting for him. The other guy that's kind of on our list here, John Pack, again from Scotch Plains, and he's currently sitting 20th. So not only does he look good to make this week at 156, but he looks pretty good to make top 75, and as we know, top 30 get your PGA Tour card. So that's huge. There are actually guys, Mike, out there that have the tour bound stickers. Like some guys, like Harry Higgs has won 2 events. He's getting his tour card for next year. So
yeah, because I think some of them are locked inside the top 30. So there's nothing that's going to hold them back from getting bumped out of it.
Whatever happens. So they already have those like stickers on their bags. Their caddies are wearing them. So it's pretty cool to see that. It's a nice, kind of accomplishment. So I don't know if John's one of those. I don't remember seeing it, but
I don't think he is.
At 20, I don't think you are. You probably got another week before he can be. But yeah, really, really cool to see that. Let's jump up a level to the PGA Tour. The St. Jude's was this week. As we're recording right now, Max is
on a binge.
We're gonna refresh the page. Oh, he is hot. He's currently through 8 holes right now. Let's go back. Thursday, he shoots 75. He gets in. He qualifies for the top 70. He's at 60 whatever. Got to 47th after he goes, comes in second last week and arguably should have won the tournament, right? He's at 47th. He then shoots a 75 on 75 on Thursday. That jumps him into the 50s. So he's out for next week. So he's had to battle back all week, has to play well Friday to make the cut. He continues to do that. He's currently, as I'm looking at it, he's through 8 holes, and he's 5 under today. 2 under for the tournament. And currently sitting at, if you go, you can click on live projection, currently sitting at, waiting for the page to load.
52.
52. I had 52, but I wanted to refresh it.
Well, the reason he's at 52 right now, and I know we're recording this a little before things, is because all these other guys have not teed off.
Right.
So there will be more movement throughout the day, hopefully with Max staying this hot, that he potentially could now jump back inside the top 50, because the top 50, man, the door opens at the top 50 because you get in all the signature events next year, guaranteed. You're in all the majors if you get in the top 50. Like, the door now opens significantly if you can make it into the BMW. You've got to figure that part out. You got to.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it looks like he's going to need some help. Again, he's currently 52nd. Do you know who 51 is?
No.
You might recognize the name Keegan Bradley. Is 51. So he's going to need some help. He really is. He's got to do what he's got to do, right? You can only control what you can control, and we talked about that with Reed, actually, right? So he's doing what he can control. He's on a heater right now, 5 under through 8 holes. Honestly, he's going to need to throw up a 63, 64, 65, somewhere in there, and the higher he goes, like a 65, he probably is going to need a little bit of help from some people to kind of come back to the field, maybe guys who haven't teed off yet. So there's some of that in there as well. And it's up to those guys. It's up to him to play well and then see where the what's the word I'm looking for? See where the cards fall, see where the things fall, and hopefully it's in his favor.
He needs those guys above him to unfortunately not play well, and that's a tough ask. Like, he needs guys to continue that downward trajectory. I'm hopeful that we refresh this thing later on this evening. He's inside the top 50, boy.
Especially because it looks like it's scoreable today, because I'm looking at today's scores. Like Tom Dietrich is 6 under through 8 holes right now, and currently T32. Who's this? Eric Cole is 4 under through 4 right now. So it seems scoreable today. Again, you hope that it's not, and you hope that he can make the move and some people can come back to earth. But we'll see. Hopefully they can make it work.
I do have a prediction, and I know this is. I think Max finishes 50 and gets in.
Love that. I absolutely love that. That's great. Keegan Bradley is +2 for the tournament. He's 1 under today. So that's a guy that he could potentially jump over if Keegan doesn't.
There's listen,
I'll tell you, a lot of his mind.
I'll tell you what. He's got to keep an eye on guys like Tom Kim, Austin Eckroat. Like, those are the guys that are a little bit above him. Corey Connors, guys like that are in Max's realm. He's going to have to keep an eye on how they do today, because if they drop and he can stay hot.
Yeah. The guys that are, so, so Max is 52, Keegan is 51, Nick Taylor is 50, Harris English is 49, Tom Kim is 48, Austin Eckroat 47, Justin Rose 46, Adam Scott 45. I mean, those last two, Adam Scott and Justin Rose, not that they're all not professional golfers, but they're professional golfers. And those guys are going to know how to, where they sit, know what that pressure feels like, know all that. You got to think that Scott and Rose are going to do what they need to do, right? It's those other guys that he's got to be able to kind of jump over.
Control what you can control. He's got to go low. He's got to go 63, 64, and then from there, it's let the chips fall how they may.
Yeah, he does. I mean, how about just throw up a 60? Just do a 60. Just and guarantee it. Put the stamp on it. Listen, 60 and I'm in. But here's
it's good for the brand if he keeps winning.
It is good for the brand. So, so that's it. Top 70. Top 50 move on to the BMW next week, and we'll see from there. Got anything else, Mike?
I don't, buddy.
All right. That's going to be it for us today. If there is something after this right now, it's because Mike and I jumped on because something crazy happened either on the Corn Ferry Tour, the PGA Tour. So we may be sending you to that right now. All right, guys, before we send you to the end of today's episode, this is me talking to you from the future, from the past of our episode. In the beginning, Mike and I said we recorded early. We didn't get to see how Sunday was going to work out, but we did want to jump on and kind of give you a quick update. Max was sitting at 52 when we were talking last. He went on an absolute heater. He shot 7 under on Sunday and still needed a little bit of help, but he was able to get it, and he is currently sitting at 47th as his projected points list or projected FedEx Cup list, which is awesome, which is incredible. He got everything that was needed. Him and Keegan Bradley were able to sneak in. Keegan is 50th right now. A couple people fell back. Unfortunately, Tom Kim had a rough Sunday and jumped to 51 from 43. So, talk about like guys that were able to, he needed some help. And unfortunately for Tom, someone like him is no longer playing, but Max moves on, which is huge for us.
Yeah, listen, you and I were talking about it. He's 5 under through this many holes, and before you know it, he puts up a 7 under 63, and it gets inside the top 50. And I do want to clarify. I think I kind of misspoke earlier. Those who make the top 50, they earn spots into all 8 signature events next year, along with the Century. Now, I think I misspoke because I think I said the majors as well. If Max goes on from the BMW and then he makes it to the Tour Championship, the Tour Championship, the top 30 gets a 2-year exemption on the PGA Tour. They qualify for next year's Masters, the US Open, and the British Open.
Wow.
So lots of things open up there in that respect for Max. So now that we've gotten inside the top 50 after a big round on Sunday, we've been saying he's playing well. Maybe he can continue down this little streak he's on.
Yeah. And
maybe we get into East Lake, and now all the doors are really opening.
Yeah, that is great. You do like to see that the different levels kind of open up for them. So it is good to see he gets the exemption. He gets a bunch of stuff opening up next year, but then just, Pandora's box opens up even more for the top 30. So yeah, he is playing well. We know that. He came in second and probably should have won, something we talked about. He goes on an absolute heater on Sunday. So he's able to do it, and hopefully he can put it together for honestly, it's 4 more rounds, dude. 4 more rounds, and the next, what would you say? The next 5 years of his career is kind of cement that's drying. If he's got 2 years exemption on tour, he's got major status. Obviously you got to keep playing well. I'm not saying not to, but like, you got to think those are going to continue to springboard for the rest of a career, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's like anything. You get on this heater.
It's at least more than possible, right?
Right, and he's playing good golf at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, more power to him.
Yeah, let's keep dreaming. So again, end of this morning when we were recording, we wanted to kind of give you an update at the end here. So that's our update on Max. That's all we got for today. Now stay tuned for Thursday's episode where we have Darren Bunch on, Director of Marketing for Tobacco Road. Till then, cheers.